Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel, and we are live again today, the 6th of October 2023. As usual, on Friday, we bring you a program called Ubuntu Sports, and I'm joined by Lameck tonight. Lameck, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Yes, good evening, Reuben, and good evening to everyone watching us on all social media platforms. It's another beautiful Friday that we get to dissect Zambian football, and we also get to look at several other topics that have happened along the course of the week. So it's an exciting day. I can't wait to get started.
Great, Lameck. We've got a lot of activities that were taking place in terms of Zambian football, and let's start with what will be happening tomorrow at Nkoloma, the qualification for the under 20. Good game. Are you happy with the selection for the team so far? The ladies are on tomorrow at Nkoloma Stadium.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the selection. I think it provides some balance. In terms of the players, it also has a number of players that have featured at the under 17 level. So again, it's about the cohesion that these girls have had to build along the course of the months, years building up to this match. GR Congo are not a pushover. They're a very tough team, very physical. So we need to be on our A game because the away match won't be easy. Look at Coach Haluwono, heavily experienced. Learn from. So tomorrow's match, we don't have to leave anything to chance. We go punch for punch and hope we can get a decent result.
Great. Do you think these ladies will be inspired by the likes of Barbara Banda, Kundananji, the likes of Irene Lungu, taken the Zambian football in terms of women's football to another level?
Yeah, people like Barbara, Kundananji, Irene, Grace Chanda, Ochumba, all these players have provided a lot of inspiration to these young girls to come onto the field and believe that they can also do it. Watching the Barbara Bandas, the Rachel Kundananjis at the world stage, has been enough motivation to these young girls to say, we can do it. We can also get to the level that Barbara has gotten. Because if you look at the backgrounds of these ladies come from a typical Zambian background. So, a lot of our girls are also coming from similar backgrounds. The Eva in Katongo, young, comes from a typical Zambian background. You watch her playing at the world stage, and you as a young girl who's coming from such an environment, you will be inspired. So inspiration is there. It's just about the drive now to say, okay, what do we need to get to the level that Barbara is at? What do we need to get to the level that Susan Katongo is at? The Rachel Kundananj, what do we need? I think that's one thing that these girls, apart from the inspiration, that's one thing that they also need to, I think Coach Halubono also needs to look at, to say each team needs to have role models. And the Barbara Bandas, the Rachel Kundananjis are the role models to these young girls.
Great. Let's cross over to what's happening in South Africa in terms of women's COSAFA tournament. Started this week. We saw some interesting results. Malawi beating South Africa. We saw how South Africa struggled to assemble the team. We saw Zambia also getting a draw against Mozambique, being the defending champions. Lameck, how has been the tournament so far, and how do you look at the chances of Zambia in this tournament?
Chances of Zambia winning, retaining the COSAFA crown, I think I give them a 50% chance. Looking at the team that was assembled, yes, it's a good team, but I think forward we don't have multiple options when it comes to attack. And you and I know that the Zambian game is built on a strong attack at every level, whether male, female, football. Zambian football is built on attack. The successes of the Copper Queens have been built on the solid attack attacking players that they've had. Look at the Barbara Bandas and others that were before the Barbara Bandas. The little success that we've had has been based on the attack, and I don't see that balance when it comes to attacking the team that Bruce Mwape picked for the COSAFA. Yes, I know he wanted to maintain an all local team, and then also he brought in an aspect of new players, giving an opportunity to players that didn't get enough chance to play in the Copper Queens team, which is good for me. But I think if we're focusing so much on retaining the crown, I think we would have picked an Ochumba, one or two local players that we can put up front and can help the girls. Part of transition, it's good for the transition because we're guaranteed that in the next 2-3 years, we will have players that will be ready to take over from a number of players in the Copper Queens that may lose form. We may have other options, so it widens our pool of players that have the experience that are able to deliver at the highest level. But all in all, I think it's something that I think wasn't really put together when we look at the team. I think the balance in terms of attack, because the game that I saw against Mozambique, we played all the football, but we just couldn't get the goal. We built from the back, we did a lot of work.
People are asking Lameck, where is Coach Bruce? You know this.
Coach Bruce is around. If you look at the Morocco match, the second friendly that we won, is it 6-2? He missed that match because of health concerns, and then leading up to today, I think he hasn't really gotten back to full fitness. So he is around, but standing on the bench requires a lot of energy, it requires a lot of effort, and I think he's providing a lot of support to the technical bench that sit on the bench during matches. He's in the background providing a lot of support to the coaches there, and it's also up to the coaches now to say, a Bruce Mwape won't be, for me, I don't think, it's right. I know, this is something that may come with a lot of different views, but I think tournaments such as the COSAFA and these 1, 2 other 3 regional tournaments should be led by not the senior coach, which is Bruce Mwape, but maybe by the assistants, so that we also give them a platform to enhance their skills. Yes, we want to win, but we want to develop in all aspects. We don't only want to have like a one Bruce Mwape alone. We also want to have someone else that can take over in a case that Bruce Mwape isn't around. So coaches such as Coach Collins. Yes, Reuben. Hello? Reuben. Mr. Abia, how are you?
Fine, Lameck, how are you?
I'm okay. Welcome to the show. We are talking Copper Queens with my friend Reuben here, but since he's having some network challenges, so we're looking at Coach Bruce Mwape, who has seemingly been unwell, and I think the Morocco friendly, he wasn't available on the technical bench, and then also the Mozambique match in the COSAFA, he was not seen on the technical bench. So I think that's where we're trying to break it down. So I don't know what you think about Bruce Mwape, about the team in general, the 0-0 draw with Mozambique, the many chances created by Zambia, but failure to convert.
All right. I think the information that I have is that I think I believe is unwell. So I think the draw against Mozambique, we can't say no. We registered a draw just because Coach Bruce Mapi is not there. No, I think this time around we are using this tournament just to find potential players who can play at a higher level in case of Babla Banda is injured. Leto Kundananji is injured. And these dependable players they have injured. Lameck, I may outline the case of Grace Chanda and Hase Onari in that situation. So if we don't have those two, who are the replacement of them? So I think this is what tournament is being used for. I understand that we are defending champions and pressure is on us, but I don't think that can contribute to a draw to against Mozambique. But I think a draw was better because you know we find our fault in where we need to work on. So I think FAS and technical bench have done well to use this tournament in order to find players who can play in those places where Rachel Kundananji and Babla Banda is not available, like the way it is against Chanda and Haze Onari. So I think this is a good platform to test these players. How can they play in the big matches, international matches? That's all what I can say for now.
Thanks very much, Mr. Abia. Sorry, I'd lost you guys for a moment there. But looking at the tournament, Lameck, we've seen Lusho Momwemba captaining the team. Do you think so far she's provided the leadership that you might that you think might take the team all the way and bring back the COSAFA tournament back home?
Yeah, I think for Lushomo has been around for quite a long time. She's been with the team for a long time. I think she's one of the senior players in that team. So she's a leader. I think at club level, she's provided some leadership at Green Buffaloes. And then, at national level, yeah, it may be something new to her, but the fact that she's been around with the team, she has the experience. I think she's one of the oldest players in the current team, because a lot of the players are young. So I think that was a good choice to put her as captain. Does she have the qualities to lead the team forward? I think yes, she has. She can lead the team forward. I think we may reach our biggest defining point of whether we'll get something out of this tournament will mostly rely on our attack, because defensively I think we have a very good defense. We're able to play, we're building from the back, we're able to create chances, but it is now about scoring. Who will get the goals for us? Is it Melan Mulenga, who's been fantastic for Green Buffaloes, but at national level, maybe the task may be too much for her, but we would keep encouraging her and see if she can get back her scoring form. She can, one day put on her scoring boots. And once she scores her first goal, I think she may not look back. So it's about what we are able to get out of this tournament, depending on the goals we score. If we're unable to get goals, I think our journey may be shorter.
Great. Lameck, let's move on, gents. In Southern Province, we hear Green Eagles is about to fire the coach. Lameck, just give us the latest what is happening there with Green Eagles. We know the one of the teams that are struggling so far this season, but we hear now the coach has been given 3 matches ultimatum. What really is happening there?
Yeah, Coach Alex Namazawa took over from Agre Chiangyo when Agre Chiangyo was let go. And I think last season was more of a transition season for him, because the differences in philosophy of how the team played under Chiangi and how Namazawa wants to play, I think this is one of the most difficult transitions any team can have. And for Green Eagles, I think they were able to get decent results on the road. At home, it was always difficult. I think those teams always came and wanted to defend. So they picked a number of draws at home. But the play was, I think, under Namazawa, the team played way, way better football. I think they played a better passing game than under Chiangi. With all due respect to Agre Chiangi, I think he's a great coach, but the differences in philosophy are what I think are the difference. So for Namazawa, for the Zambia National Service, I think it's about patience. So you need to understand at what level the team is at. Yes, the demands may be finish top 4, maybe get us a continental slot, APSA Cup would want to reach maybe the semi-final or the final, all those targets set apart. And then you look at the start that they've had, they've lost quite a number of games. They only have one win, which came against NKANA side, 1-0. They've lost 2 back-to-back games, a huge loss against the FC MUZA 4-0. Which at the end of the day, it was like people thought that after the 4-0, Alex Namazawa would be gone. But against Zesco United, I think we saw a much different Green Eagles. They played with a lot of purpose, they were more direct. They managed to get 2 goals, and Zesco won it probably at the death. So it's something that, for me, I think Green Eagles or ZNS has to be patient with Namazawa, understand what he's building, and then support him, because at the end of the day, it's about a coach coming in with a different methodology. Like, he wants to do things differently from what the players have been accustomed to. If you look at the signings again, it's a 50-50 thing. I think the signings were okay. I can't say they were below average, but they were typical Zambian Super League club signings. They were good signings, to say, because he looked at reinforcing the front line, he looked at reinforcing the midfield, positions that he had difficulties, the left back position, positions that he had difficulties with last season. So now it's about the team gelling and able to get results, which I think with time, results will come. But for Eagles, again, the goalkeeper position has always been a problem. So it's something that, them getting a first choice goalkeeper has been more of a challenge. So for me, I think it's just about patience. The 3-game ultimatum starts with Forest Rangers this weekend. Forest, a difficult team on the road. I think they're also under a new coach. It will be a difficult match for Namazawa, and I think things may not work his way, depending on how much pressure the players play with. If they play with a lot of pressure, it's difficult to get results. In times like this, it requires a lot of calm. It requires a lot of, just doing things the way you've always been doing, repeating the same things that you've been doing, and then, results will definitely come. If you try to play with a lot of pressure, you may not get results, because you tend to shoot from afar. You are not patient in your build-up, because you just want to get a goal. Because the players, again, will be affected by the fact that, Namazawa has been around the players for a long time. Under Chiangi was there, so he has a great relationship with the players. It's just now that the service has to be patient with Namazawa. He's a young coach, so it's all about patience. Patience. Something good will come out.
You're calling for
But it's
patience,
about patience.
but the decision seems to have been made by the command in the ZNS. And if we look at the 3 next games for Green Eagles, Forest Rangers, the one you said, they'll be at home in Choma against Forest Rangers. They'll be away to Green Buffaloes, and they'll be at home the last or the 3rd game at home against Trident. Not easy fixtures, and like ZNS command wants results. Lameck, on these 3 fixtures, where do you think they can get some maximum points? Forest Rangers, Green Eagles, Trident.
I think they can beat both Forest Rangers and Trident. The Buffaloes one in Lusaka, I think it's a winnable game. Green Eagles under Namazawa, I think they've played really, really well away from home. Look at the match they played against Konkola. They were almost winning it. They missed a couple of chances and then ended in a draw. Look at Zesco match again. They played really well. They missed a couple of chances. They got punished at the end of the day. And then under Namazava, Green Eagles managed to beat Red Arrows last season in Lusaka. So again, that is, those are signs that something positive will come. But it's about patience. The only thing that the service needs is to be patient with Namazava. I think results will come, but it's about patience. But for me, I'm very positive. I think he'll manage to pick even 3 wins out of 3, because now it's more about playing. They're playing for like to save the coach's job. So it's about the players again to say, do we do this for the coach? So sometimes, there are already rumors that Agresh Young is being contacted. 1 or 2 discussions are going on. So it may be all but done. He may just maybe lose 1 match from the 3 and then he may be fired. Or maybe, these are just rumors, speculation going around that Namazawa is being quoted again. So it's that kind of thing that for me, I just think it's all about patience. Look at Red Arrows. Red Arrows last season, they lost 8 straight matches, 8 back-to-back matches. No win in 8 matches. Them being defending champions, but they stuck with Chisi. Things started looking well. This season, Red Arrows are really looking good. With the new signings, the DRs that have come in, Red Arrows may actually win the league. So it's about patience and understanding what the coach wants to do. It's only about patience. Results will come. Patience. Yeah.
You've got for patience for Green Eagles. Let's turn to the other team that is struggling in NKANA. People thought against Trident at home they might win. Abia. What's really happening with NKANA? There is a new coach now, but still same results.
Reuben, the disease that has caught NKANA is the same disease that has caught Chelsea. We are in the same WhatsApp group. But the thing is, when you change a coach, the new coach will come with a new style of play. So I think, we have been in this situation before, where we were fighting relegation until we came out with the same based on championship. Now with Ian Bakara, my man Bakara, you have a lot of work to do. Right now, we are working under pressure because the big team, the 13-time winners of Zambia Super League, if things may not go as planned, you may play Sparta United next season, but we don't want that. We don't want that because we are the big team. We need to show. Team like Trident, these are the team that you need to teach them how to play Super League. But meanwhile, they're teaching us how to play Super League. This is very bad. It's like now Ruton is teaching Chelsea how to play EPL. So I think we need to learn 1 or 2 things. Things that we need to learn, Reuben, is about business, the way we do business in terms of transfers. You can't sell big players that are playing big role in the team minus their replacement. This is a huge that is costing us at NKANA. And if this business may continue, management will lost it until the team will become like Buildcon situation. So we don't want those situations like Buildcon to come in at NKANA, because we are the good of examples. The 13-time winners, they are looking on us. This is a team that have won Super League for so many times than any other club in Zambia. But now we are struggling. We are in the red zone, and in fact, at the tail of the table. Imagine, Reuben. This is not a good thing for NKANA. We need to wake up. We need to fill up our socks. I think last season we had a problem at Pachirata. But this time around, we are playing away from home, But still, we are not seeing this house. What is it? I think Ian Bakar has answers. So he will help us in the next games because they're also tough games, Reuben. I think the next game we are playing Forest Rangers. It's not easy game. If not Green Eagles. Green Buffaloes.
Florida Wanderers.
Florida Wanderers. Yeah, the my team, Florida Wanderers. This is a team that has just joined the Zambia Super League, but they have been here before. So we need to work extra hard because this team is also playing a good football, better than traded. So I think we have a lot of work to do as in Ghana. But we need to learn a lesson how we do business in terms of transfers because January is coming. If January is to come and find us in the same situation, red zone, let's do business quickly as possible in order to help the team to prosper.
Great. Lameck, Abia is blaming the transfer, but NKANA didn't do a good business during the transfer season. Is that what you can attribute their poor results? They've only scored one goal this season so far, and that goal came when the time they played MUZA. From then, it has been dry.
Yeah, when you look at NKANA's story, I think it's a story that has been rocked by one or two financial difficulties in the past. So that has also affected their buying power in the market. They haven't been able to attract the bigger players. But again, I think when it came to recruitment, they recruited well because I think it was more of a transition that they were going into. They focused more on signing younger players, which I think is positive because they're thinking about the future. Another thing is that they didn't get enough attacking players when they were in the market. So for me, David Kavala, yes, is good, but they needed to sign, I think, 2 or 3 other players that can supplement the efforts that this Congolese guy is putting in. A lot can be said about NKANA, but this is a team that is undergoing a transition. This is one thing that we need to understand. They are also under heavy sanctions. They're playing away from home. Every match is like an away match for NKANA because they have to travel. Whether you're playing at home, you're playing away, you have to travel quite a number of kilometers, which at the end of the day, I think it affects the team because there's issues to do with fatigue, a lot of traveling, there's issues to do with the little training time. So, but for Bakala, I think a lot of positives are coming because, trainings, I think he's able now, his philosophy is now being seen in the team, how he wants to play. The Wanderers one may just be NKANA's first win. I know a lot will say Wanderers hasn't lost at home this season, but again, NKANA is like a team that is playing under pressure. So they'll go to Shinde. They practically have no point to prove. They're just trying to get their first win. So they're not playing again with a point to prove. Might, on the other hand, coming from Division 1, they're playing with, that mindset of having to avoid relegation. So they'll play with pressure, because they're at home, they want to maximize home advantage. They may want to commit more men forward, which if NKANA tactically approach the match well, they may actually end up winning the match. But Wanderers, we may not, Wanderers are not a pushover team. I think they've been they've shown a lot of intent in their matches this season. I think they've been a big threat in every match that they've played. But at the end of the day, I think it all goes down to preparation. Who prepared better, who tactically approached the match better. I think they'll have a more realistic chance of winning the match. Whoever did their homework well, I think will carry the 3 points tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Abia, what's your prediction on the NKANA versus Awine Chungul, Awina Milambo, for the Wanderers?
It's difficult to predict according to the situation where we are as NKANA. But if things can go well for NKANA may win 1-0. But failure to do that, we end up in a draw like 0-0 or 1-1 state of affairs.
All right, great. Last week, gents, we all know it wasn't a good situation in terms of continental football. Both MUZA and Power Dynamos were eliminated from CAF and continental football, from CAF and Confederation Cup. So in terms of representation in continental football for Zambia, all the teams have been eliminated, and it's back to square one. Lameck, where do we need to improve in terms of continental?
I think when we talk about continental football, I think there's been a lot of theories as to why there's been a decline in the performances of the teams in CAF football. One thing that has contributed heavily to the decline has been poor scouting by the clubs, and then number two, cuts in budgets. So now a lot of clubs in the ZSL have had major cuts in budgets. Look at the Zesco United. At their peak, they decided to change their model and support a more local model, where they wanted to accommodate more local players. They wanted to bully, the other clubs in the market, get the best local players available, which I think wasn't sustainable because, local players, local for local. A Friday Sam who's doing so well at Green Buffaloes may not sell that Friday Sam to Zesco United because you're competing in the same league. You have the same targets for the season, so it's always difficult like that. So Zesco's model change, I think it's one thing that other clubs also had. They had cuts in budget, they were unable to buy the high-end players. So if you're unable to go to a Congolese team, get one of the good players there. Yes, you cannot get a player from the Mazembes and the Lupopos because of their financial power. You can get, the Otabwalias where they came from, the Idris Mbombos where they came from. That has been a line, but you can only do that if you have a very active scouting network. So now it also goes back to the quality of players that the clubs have signed. Yes, the quota, people blame the quota, but if we look at the quota, South African clubs are also playing with a quota system, and it's stricter in South Africa. Look at the Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, they have the best talents in South Africa, but every time they get a foreign player, it's someone who's coming, walk into the starting lineup, contribute heavily to the team. Look at the Mwenes, how much contribution he did to Sundowns. Look at Onyango, how much contribution he did to Sundowns. But if we start comparing punch for punch, a number of the players that some of the ZSL clubs have signed, there's a lot of things that we can learn from.
Lameck,
So
players like Amanike.
yes. You say what?
Players like Amanike, the one who signed by Zanaco.
Oh, yeah, Nacho.
Inacho, sorry.
Yeah, it's been that kind of thing where that also shows the lack of background work by the clubs, because there's no way as a club, a big club, you're going to spend so much money to get this striker, and then he draws a salary, a sign-on fee, and all these other monies, which at the end of the day, you never get to see him playing on the pitch because maybe he came with an injury. So you failed to do, simple work, such as do a complete medical on a player before you sign them. So it's also about compatibility. Certain clubs sign certain players that are not really compatible with their systems. Another thing is, let's look at the Power Dynamos. So Power Dynamos signed the Baby from Trident. For whatever reason, Baby hasn't been seen in action. In both matches that they played against Simba, which I think, had they played him, I think maybe something would have come out of him, because he's signing, he came in with a big reputation. But now, is it a case of what was the problem? Why wasn't he being played? Is it because he doesn't fit in the system that the coach is using? Is he injured? All those questions. If he's okay and doesn't fit in the system of your coach, meaning there are more questions to say, why did they go and sign a player that doesn't, or that they will never actually get the best out of? So these are questions, these are a little homeworks that the clubs in the Zambian Super League should be doing, to say, who are we signing and why are we signing the same players? It's about just doing,
This is why you need to come in as an agent.
Yeah, agents we can always come in, but if I go to, let's say I go to a Power Dynamos today and told them that for them to compete favorably, maybe this is just like an example. If I went to, let's say, a FC MUZA or maybe a Cabo Warriors and told them, okay, for you to win the league, you need to like trim down the squad. Half of the players may not fit the profile of, let's say, compete favorably for the league. So you need to cut down on these players and then bring in maybe 10, 13 new players that will say, okay, with the ones that are there plus a 13, it will now be, we're building a team that can compete. They won't accept because number one, the financial side of things. Number two, the players themselves. There are lots of things that happen in the background that may never just ever come out in the open. Between the club, between officials, between agents, but for me as an agent, one thing is that before I take a player to a club, I need to make sure that this player is going to the right club, with the right coach, with people who have the right mentality to support the player. Because again, you may get a player who's doing so well at this club, take him to another club, and then be a complete flop. It happened once. We got a player who's performing at top level, got him a deal in the ZSL, one of the bigger clubs. He went there and flopped like big time. And we're all surprised, say, okay, how did he flop? But it was about compatibility. Was he compatible with the club that he was signing for? So for us, we felt he was always compatible, but the conditions at the club did not allow him to thrive. He was a top performer at that time that he was being signed, but a month after signing for that new club, he was lost. He was no longer the player that we knew. So this is also the homework that club needs to do. To say, if you're signing a player, do your due diligence. Make sure that the player is compatible with the club that you're signing for. Again, it's not just about, the big club has come for my player, so I need to make this deal happen. It's about if this player is going to sign for a bigger club, are they going to play? Because we've seen a situation, some boy from a Copper Belt team transfers to another Copper Belt team, a bigger club in the Copper Belt. But today he's nowhere to be seen. He can't even make the 18 to 20 man squad for match days. When, at his club, he left with a big reputation or signed under the club with a big reputation. Maybe a year from now, he won't be a player that we'll be talking about. He was breaking into the national team. He played the COSAFA. We were happy with that. But it's not just about doing the deal. It's also about looking at the future of this boy. Are they also going to a club that they'll be able to contribute? Are they going to understand his development? Or at what level is this player? At what level is the club? Sometimes you turn down offers because the level of the club and the level of the player are two different levels. So you have to wait for the player to reach that level for them to, for you to conclude a deal. Sometimes deals are good, but again, it's about understanding at what level the player is and at what level the club that wants him is, and what are the targets that the club has. Are they bringing him as an important player, as a crucial player, or a squad rotation player? At what level are they bringing the player in? Because they'll sign a player who comes with a big reputation, but they say, okay, with the squad that we have, he can only come in as a squad rotation player. He only play when we are rotating the squad. When this boy, wherever he's coming from, he came with a big reputation. Everyone who saw the signing was like, wow, this is a time, this boy will thrive at this club. And 3-4 months in, you can't see anything out of the player because they've lost confidence, they're not being played, they're frustrated and all that. So it's a combination of factors, but for me, it's just about scouting, cutting budgets, and then, Zambian, a number of clubs failing to do their due diligence when it comes to signing players. Sign the right player for the right amount, the right profile of player, in the right positions. For me, that's what signings should be at. Then we can get to a level where we can compete favorably. We have the talent. Locally, we have a lot of talent. So and 5 other foreign players will come and just supplement what we already have and tighten the areas that, the loose areas that we have, which at the end of the day should guide us or help us get to a level where we can compete and reach the group stages, at least the group stages of these CAF competitions.
We're almost running out of time. Mr. Abia, just bring us to speed of what is happening in terms of Chipata United and how the people of Eastern have received so far the National League. Are the people, is the DK Stadium getting full because of the National League now that it has come to Eastern Province? And how is the feeling like there in the Eastern Province?
Yes, I think Reuben, in Eastern Province right now we really love football because from the first day where we played Pulungu Youth, DK was at full capacity, full capacity. In the second game, DK was also in the full capacity. Yes.
Is the game against Cafe Eagles?
Yes, we were playing Cafe Eagles where we won 1-0. And the first game we drew 1-1 with Pulungu Youth. But the attendance is overwhelming, Reuben, because despite people knowing that they will get charges of 5 quarter, 10 quarter, but they still manage to pay 10, 20, 50, 100, Reuben. This is amazing. If this may continue, will help this club to prosper in terms of financial things, logistics. They need to travel from here to play in Pulungu Harbor in Northwestern Province. They have to move from Chipata to play Quattro Kalumbila, Lumwana Radiance. All those done, they need money. But from what we have seen, people of Eastern Province love football. Imagine, Reuben, people from Petauke, Katete, Lundazi, coming to watch Chipata United.
Wow.
Yeah, this is interesting. We thought only the people from Chipata would watch Chipata United, but people from other districts of Eastern Province, they're coming to watch Chipata United. And the team is also receiving a big morale from the supporters and all the different people from all well-meaning Zambians. So I think right now, as I'm speaking, the team is in Lusaka, gearing up for tomorrow's game against Atletico Lusaka. At 13 hours, they'll play at Atletico Lusaka. So the team is in Lusaka right now. They have arrived in Lusaka safely this evening. And Reuben, the thing that I have liked also for Chipata United is that this team doesn't tolerate discipline. As we are talking about now, 2 players has been dropped just because of misconduct. Indiscipline indeed, Reuben. So if this may continue, the players that are in the team, they will know their end. So I think each and every person, when they are in the football pitch, outside the football pitch, in the camp, the players need to know their role. They need to stick to their end. But once you broke the rules, the punishment has to follow you. So this is overwhelming for Chipata United. We hope for good results for tomorrow. That's all what I can say, Reuben. We have received National League with our full hands here in Eastern Province.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Abia. And also, I want to thank Lameck, who also came through just to help us in terms of analysis of the topics of Zambian football that took place during the week. We continue supporting the women's team. Tomorrow, the under-20 will be playing DRC Congo in Koloma Stadium, and also be following proceedings in South Africa in terms of the COSAFA women's tournament taking place. We hope, wish the Chipolopolo all the best in all the competitions that they are taking place. And this is where we come to the end of Ubuntu Sports for this week. Join us next time, next week, same channel, Ubuntu channel. For now, we say goodbye. God bless you. Bye-bye.